Welcome to Sammy's Tarot Astrology readings. We are live from St. Louis and it is the full moon. And it is Halloween! Happy Halloween! I'm so happy to be here with you. I hope you're having an amazing day so far. Hopefully eating some delicious treats. And by the way, when we started this video it was 11:11, so even if you're not watching it at 11:11, that first moment of this video is an opportunity for you to make a wish. We captured the 11:11 energy into that first moment. So whatever it is that you are longing for or dreaming of, speak it, picture it. And what's especially important right now, because it is the full moon in Taurus, is that you feel it and touch it and taste it and hear it and smell it. So we're gonna take a minute to do what we normally do, take a few deep breaths and chant Om. And then we will talk a bit about the stars in the sky and pull our 3 cards. But what's more important than that for today, I think, is just to focus on the sensuality aspect of this moon and today. And so to start with, I have some sage here, and I also have some essential oils. So if you're watching this now's the perfect time to light a candle or smell something. If you have an oil, a perfume, something you can burn, something that you can, anything that you like to smell, even if it's a soap or a lotion or opening the window and smelling the outside air. That's going to be an amazing way for us to get into our bodies and our senses together right now and really make the most of this full moon moment. And even though it reaches its apex at a certain moment, when it's technically the fullest, yesterday, today, tomorrow, it's still that full moon energy. So because that's how nature is. Things aren't often so cut and dry and linear the way we put things on with time frames and numbers, and that's real, but it's also a gradual shift in and out. So don't feel too much pressure around getting it exactly on the right time or thinking you missed it, or you can tap into that full moon energy anytime around the full moon. So let's light something. I'm going to light something. This full moon is about sensual pleasure. Now that I have this beautiful smell, I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. Om. 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 Thank you for joining me in that, and using our ears to hear sound and using our bodies to make vibration is another excellent way of aligning with those energies of the full moon. And what's interesting is the full moon and the new moon they have their differences and their similarities. So even though the new moon is a time of being able to plant seeds for something new, and the full moon is a little bit more about enjoying and releasing, it's still a great time to think of things that you want to call in, especially if they are in tune with what this particular full moon is about. So sensuality, and also Taurus is about the senses. It's also about work and about security in a material way. So the way to make the most of this full moon is to think, what would I enjoy? And then as you think about it and as you imagine it and dream it, to draw that into your body and associate it with something real that you can enjoy. And so I think a great ritual for this full moon and for this weekend, and also it's Halloween, and also Dia de los Muertos is on Sunday and Monday. So we've got a good chunk of time here where you could do this and revisit it and keep trying different things, but using your senses as you visualize. So it's not like sitting there on your yoga mat, closing your eyes, thinking like, what do I want more of? What do I want to feel? It's more like get yourself comfortable. Maybe you're sitting in your bed, on a couch, on the grass, on the floor, in the bath, in the shower, walking, and then have some tools. Have like your witch bag with you, and your cauldron or your trick-or-treat basket, whatever it is, and put some things in it, like something that smells delicious, like an essential oil, something that tastes good, like some candy, some chocolate, some nuts, something that you love to eat, that's fun to eat, something that you can hear. Maybe if you have something that makes a sound like a bell, or you could use your voice, that's the simplest way, or your body. You could tap or snap, you could put on music, something you feel, so a soft fabric, a feather, a stone that you like to touch, something you can see. Maybe it's a picture, maybe it's going to a place that you like to look at, or even watching something. I mean, if there's like a movie that you really like, so that you can't put in the bag, you could do that at a different time, but putting things in the bag that have all of your different senses, and then as you're snacking and as you're smelling and as you're maybe feeling things, that's when you can, in a dreamy way, because we still have Neptune and Pisces, imagine what it is that you are longing for. And then once you have that picture, take a bite of the chocolate, smell the thing, and let your dreams be associated with pleasure, so that it's not so much a to-do list as creating a happy memory with this idea. And I think that's really what this full moon is about in terms of the practical steps to get there. That's something to work on an ongoing basis, but the full moon, I think, is really about celebration and enjoyment. And something else is the sun is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the more, if we look at the spectrum of sensuality to sexuality, and let's say like Scorpio is more on the sexuality aspect, that includes more of like the intense feelings and the deepness and the transformation and the intense pleasure and maybe pain and all of the things that go along with it, and discovery. On the other end, Taurus is a little more surface level and not quite as intense. And so that means I just watched this beautiful documentary about Walter Mercado, which might explain my cape situation today. But one thing Walter talks about in the video is how his lover is the world and his life. And he makes love with the trees, and he makes love with the sunshine, and he makes love with air and everything else. And I think that's sort of what this full moon and this Taurus is all about, is expanding our perception of sensuality and pleasure. It doesn't have to just be the most obvious way of achieving those things. It's about really sinking deeply into experiencing what feels good, even if it's not explicitly like sex the way people think of it. So I think that is a beautiful. We're back! Yay! Hey Russell, welcome! Oh, it's so good to see you. I thought that we lost the live, but here we are again, and we're together, and it's beautiful. Happy Halloween, happy full moon. It's so good to be here, and right now we were just talking about all of the beautiful ways to soak up the goodness and the magic of this full moon, and how a great way to do that is by sensual pleasure and experiencing how much pleasure is available in the things that are simple around us, in delicious food, in music, in moving our bodies, in the scent of a perfume or a lotion, or anything it is that you enjoy. And as if we want to manifest things, if we want to bring in something more into our life, more pleasure or comfort or stability or whatever that Taurus-y kind of value is, a great way to pull that into our reality and lock it in there is through the pleasures of our senses. So instead of just eating the chocolate, eat the chocolate while you imagine your dreams coming true. And I think that that is a lovely way to celebrate this full moon and this Halloween. And make some noise, smell some things, eat some things, move your body. And I think it can be that simple and that fun and easy. And that we can let go of any of the other kind of pressures around today and just have some fun, like a kid on Halloween, just thinking about all the things that they're gonna do that are gonna be fun and enjoyable. So let's see. Oh yeah, and then tomorrow I won't be on, but I'll be back Monday. And really, it's going to be a very steady couple of days. The stars, the planets are really going to stay where they are for the next couple of days. Right now, the moon and Uranus are at the same degree in Taurus, and Uranus is about individuality and about being outside the box, doing things that other people might not always understand or approve of, but not really giving anything about it. Again, in this Walter Mercado documentary, he talks about taking that I don't care pill, and his assistant and friend talks about being covered in Vaseline and things just slipping off. And that's really what Uranus is about, and the fact that Uranus and the moon are at the same degree when the moon is at her fullest, I think that makes this full moon also very much about not giving a damn about what anybody thinks about what you're doing, as long as you feel good about it, because Taurus is about feeling good, Uranus is about being different, and so feel good and be different, and that is that's just perfect. And by the time we see each other again, the main thing that's going to change is that the moon will be going into Gemini at about 6 a.m. Central Time. I guess that would be 6 or 7 a.m. Monday morning. The moon shifts into Gemini. So we're going to go from that sensuality feeling and that desire for comfort and rest and sensual ease into a little bit more of a quick pace by Monday, a little bit more excitement in our minds, and a little bit more ideas and all of that. So that's another thing to keep in mind as we're experiencing this full moon. Now is really about the body, so let it be about the body. And when Monday comes around, it'll be a little bit more about the mind again. But we don't need to force our mind to activate when it's not necessarily the time yet. So dream it, enjoy it, and then trust that as we get to the Gemini moon in a few days, we'll have more ideas that will allow us to come closer to it in due time. So now we'll pull 3 cards. I'm gonna shuffle them on my leg. It's kind of perfect because this tripod that I usually use is taking a little day off, and so that is why I get to be dancing and standing today, and that's very perfect for the full moon, to be embodying from head to toe everything we're talking about. It's not just waist up, it's full body. So here we are. Okay. Gonna lay out our 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna keep them in my hand today. This is a fun experience. Let's do something new, a little different. Our first card. The 10 of Cups. Oh, beautiful. Look, everybody. It is the maximum number of cups, the maximum number of love, of joy, of emotional contentment, happiness, comfort, security, balance, joy. You have people dancing here. You have people... this is very much like the sensuality of Taurus, because you have them holding each other and touching each other in a way that brings them joy and comfort without necessarily being the deeper, darker side of intensity of touch. So that's one thing that connects to what's happening in the sky. We have this rainbow, which is the promise of a better life and the realization of that life. And they're all here together. There's flowing water, lush green grass, and a clear blue sky. So it's the promise that dreams come true and togetherness is yours with those you love. Our second card. The Seven of Cups, a lot of water energy. The Seven of Cups says that you have a lot of choices and you might not be sure what to choose, but all of these cups contain something wonderful. And it really doesn't matter what you choose, as long as you choose and as long as you keep going forward, because there's so much amazingness to experience in every area of life. And as human beings, we can't do everything at once. We have to accept that we are human, and just going down the path of one thing, picking one thing, moving forward and enjoying it, that will allow you to feel all of the happiness that you want to feel rather than trying to do everything. So just pick something and keep going. And our third card for today is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords shows somebody who is wrapped up in their limited thinking, they're in pain and they're struggling, but they aren't being kept there by anything but their own thoughts. And a big element of the full moon is releasing, because the moon is about to begin to get smaller and smaller and melt away into blackness, into a fresh start, into infinite possibility and like a fertile soil from this full place. So it's a great time to think, what is keeping me wrapped up? What is giving me pain? What is limiting my movement and my ability to see? Any thoughts that are of fear or scarcity, and just maybe make a wish today as you're eating that chocolate or as you're making music or as you're dancing, and say, I want to be free from those thoughts. Let them be forgot. And that's a great ritual as well. So here you have it. Happy Halloween. Have a beautiful, blessed weekend, and enjoy yourself. Lots of love.